Legends, idols, teachers. Is a legend someone you read and learn about in school, or is it someone who has an impact on you in some other way, shape, or form? Or even better, you don't even realize you're in the presence of one and yet have unconsciously benefited from what they have either accidentally or on purpose given to you in respects to a lesson. If I ever get there, if I ever get to be a legend to somebody, don't tell me. But if I get a chance to talk to one, I will tell you, as I am this evening. Welcome to Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis. Whiskey Business, a podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. And our guest bottle tonight, I know, always the guest bottle before the actual guest. Our guest bottle tonight is Eagle Rare, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey that is very rare. And because I have the rare opportunity to talk to what I consider to be, it's interesting, one of my comedy idols and what I consider to be a legend, but now, more importantly, I consider to be a friend, Mr. Dom Irrera is with us. There you go.
Bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
Hey, good to see you, man.
It's not bullshit. It's legitimate. You're at the Funny Bone this weekend, and
And so are you.
I saw I get to open up the show for you and do all that, but I've imposed upon you because I know you're old now, and I know you need your rest.
Yeah, well, it's funny when you talk about legends, and I don't, not because it's Black History Month, but I got to tell you, George Washington Carver, the man who invented peanut butter. Anybody can go in the fucking moon or go out of space, but the idea of how did they get it so smooth? Well, is it real butter? Or, anyway, go ahead.
Do you think initially when he made it, it was crunchy?
Yeah,
and then somebody else smoothed it out?
I think so. I don't want to accuse him of anything. The man's a creative genius. But
and so are you. I mean,
Mr. Segway.
Here's the deal. I think I remember where I met you. I think because I kind of
Didn't we meet on a summer cruise?
I think I met you when I came out to Los Angeles to visit my friend Jeff Martyr. Another comedian.
Jeff had that TV show.
Yeah. And you were a guest on his pilot.
Martyr at Midnight.
Never
name the show after yourself. It's bad luck.
Bad luck.
Except for Seinfeld.
Yeah. Which you were on, which we'll get to later. But, I think that's where I got to actually meet you. And then after that, I got to work with you a little bit. And I don't know how over the years, maybe it's your visits to Columbus, Ohio, that we got to be friends. But trust me, I don't really care how it happened. I'm just glad that it happened because it's a pleasure to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you. And I'm glad that it happened for you because you needed a friend like me. You needed a friend with some credits. For the love of God.
It really has not advanced my career in any way, shape, or form.
You're friends because of their hair. I'm not bringing anybody up because their hair is so smooth and yet hard at the same time.
For those of you who are tuning in, you should know that Dom graciously comes into Columbus a day early before his week at the Funny Bone and joins us down at the Columbus Italian Club. You've been doing it for like the last 7 years.
First of all, that's my favorite night. The rest of it's all bullshit just for money. I love coming to the social club. I love that place. Tonight it was jumping, man.
It was it's the month before elections.
Are you guys letting in some mitigans or what? There's not that many Italians alive in Columbus.
We got a lot of them. We got over we got like 360, 75 members now.
Yeah. Pushing 400 again. Yeah.
Pushing 400 members.
That was cool that you had the lead singer from REO as your president.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Our current president has long hair, which has been an issue for some members, but he's done a good job. He's almost done. We move into somebody else now, and I was president for a year. You were there when I got to be president.
Don't start with that because I promised myself I wasn't going to cry tonight. But I was so proud when you finally did something right with your life, became president of something. I'm serious, Dina. I mean, it was a very, very big and lucid moment for me. I thought, here's a guy I never thought had really much going for him. This is a compliment. It may not start out that way.
It may not start
and
out
yet,
that way.
out of nowhere, he did something that somebody actually voted for him. So who was the guy that lost to you? That poor bastard. I can't even imagine.
I got so many questions that I don't normally ask you when we're just talking, because when we're just talking, we're having fun.
Well, a lot of times when we talk, we don't have microphones in front of us.
I understand that, but I
In
don't
a
really care about the
studio.
microphones in front of us. I wanted. I said if I ever got the chance to talk to you on this podcast, which now I have, I would ask you some questions I don't normally ask. Well, let me just start with some basic stuff. First of all, how do you like the Eagle Rare? Because this is whiskey business. We are supposed to talk about the whiskey.
Well, I'm not a person who panders, to look for a commercial deal or anything. But
No, I'm not either.
But I'm going to say this. It's the best whiskey or anything I've ever drank.
It's not a
I
sponsor.
mean, even when, anyway, yeah. On the other hand, I don't know. I'm already drunk. It's free. What do I give a fuck? Eagle Rare my ass.
It's one of those bourbons that is crafted and held on to for at least 10 years before it's
bourbon?
released. Yeah, it's
Oh,
bourbon.
I thought it was like bad vodka.
No.
I thought it was spoiled.
Yeah, if you got vodka that's brown, that's bad vodka.
No, it's good. It's good. Eagle Rare. My grandmother used to give us that, and when she was still alive, God rest her soul.
What?
My grandmother, she passed away.
She give you whiskey?
Well, yeah, she gave. They used to give us booze as I don't know.
As children, right? Yeah.
They used to give. I remember my grandfather, fucking horrible alcoholic, had the worst breath, and he used to kiss you. Well, actually, we would make out for like 2 or 3 hours at a time. Is that against the law now? But he would cut me with his beard.
I had the same guy. I had the same alcoholic grandfather. What is it about that particular generation you think that made him drink so much?
Repressed homosexuality. fear of being themselves. Flamers. Is this on? Is
It's
this thing
on. It's on. Oh, it's on.
Is the show started?
It's on in so many ways.
Is this thing on? Hello.
Do you think? Do you consider yourself to be a heavy drinker?
Well, yeah. I'm a heavy drinker. You're like a drinker. You're like a drinker who from another planet. You're like somebody who was beamed down here.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
Well, what I'm saying is I could never fucking keep up with you. I could be drunk and you would go, "Well, go get something to drink." And you would drink 10 times as much as me, and then you do your fucking radio show in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you realize you're like a different species?
No.
Well, you are.
It doesn't really faze me at all. I'm just kind of curious as to where you think that, for lack of a better word, that alcoholic gift is bred in the bone somewhere.
I'd like to know what the better word was. Even though you lacked it, I want you to be more succinct. Anyway, for a better word.
Where do you think that comes from? I mean, is that something we inherit? You said you got a history of drinkers in your family, yes?
No, just my father, mother, my sister, my two, my cousins, our pastor. No, other than that, no.
Other than that, no.
Yeah.
So you think that's where we get it?
The lady who crossed us, across the street, the crossing guard, but she drank very lightly. Always light beer, one shot. Biggest tits you've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crossing guard?
Yeah, nipples like Cadillac bumpers.
How old were you when you realized
How far I could come? Funny you should ask. The first time my jizz ever arced.
All right, I wasn't gonna go that deep with it.
Hey.
How old? You said she had big tits. How old were you when you actually realized that a girl was a girl and you noticed something? You felt a stir, for lack of a better word. Again,
I was 4 months old. I couldn't roll over, but I would turn my head as much as I could. I was basically a paraplegic at 4 months old, and then I grew into being able to crawl and do normal things we do for women.
Okay.
Crawl.
Let me ask you a serious question. When did you lose your virginity? How old?
I was
Be honest.
34.
Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, how old were you? Seriously.
How old was I? I don't know. I was in Florida.
I was 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No, but I'm talking about out of your family. I'm talking about somebody legal.
No, I was 14, but then I had like a big gap because I was in Greece when it happened, and then I've said this in a previous podcast.
Who was it?
Huh? It was a girl from Chicago.
There's a girl from Chicago and Greece?
A girl from Chicago in Greece on summer vacation, and she was 18, and I was 14.
Oh, that's hot.
It was hot at the particular
And
time.
good for her.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
these so-called laws and morals. She was
Yeah.
helping you out.
She was, but it hurt me because I went back to the States and thought that was the way the world was going to be.
That's the first time you were arrested.
And then I went like a 4-year gap with nothing. I was in 4 years of high school, no action
So
whatsoever.
how did that set up? How did that happen?
She thought I was cute.
First of all, I'm already a little hard.
What?
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little hard. Just thinking about an 18-year-old girl. I realize I got to give my mother a call. What time is
She thought I was cute. She thought I was funny. All right. Even more important, do you think comedy has gotten you?
Wait a minute. You ain't getting out of that fucking story that easily. Don't give me that comedy
She thought I
bullshit.
was cute. She thought I was funny. I made her laugh. And one night she kissed me, and one thing led to another. And she said, "Have you never had sex before?" And I said, "No, I'm 14." and
I'm still a Cub Scout. I'm not even a Boy Scout yet.
and she goes, I don't worry about it. And then that rest of that summer, that happened. But then I went back that summer and started my freshman year of high school.
Did you ever see her again?
No. I have a picture of her,
Is there
though.
any way we could get in touch with her?
I have a picture of her. I have a picture of her with her cute little, I can see it right now, with her cute, short little blonde hair and she's wearing my bucket hat that I had at the time. And it's just, there's still a picture of her somewhere.
Anyway, Sandusky is up for...
Yeah, I hear that.
Wow, that's cool.
So you didn't tell me when'd you lose it?
I was in college.
What year of college?
Well, I went to I went to the University of Pennsylvania.
No, I did not. You went to
Oh, all right, it was Philadelphia Community College, but that's not the point. Is this thing on? I slipped in a joke.
Did you go to Penn? Really?
No, I go to Penn. Did you ever talk to me?
Not about that. No.
I couldn't get in anything. That's when I go to Boston. I go, I've never been to a place that I couldn't get in any fucking school they have. Too dumb.
But you're not dumb.
Thank you, Dad.
No, you're not. No, seriously.
If you throw me the ball, I'll throw it back.
No, you're not dumb. You're a very smart man. You're a very educated man. You were a teacher, for crying out loud.
I love teaching.
You were a teacher. What grade did you teach?
Fourth.
Was that the goal? Did you come out of? Did you get your teacher's
I
certificate?
couldn't go
and
any
said-
further because then the kids would know more math than me. I never got to fractions.
Did you enjoy being a teacher?
I loved it.
How long did you teach?
3 years,
And then what? Stand up.
and then I went into professional dance. I
Yeah.
did ballroom dancing. I did the mambo.
Uh-huh.
No, I went from teaching to theater.
To theater, really?
Theater, yeah. I was an actor.
Not stand up.
No, I didn't do stand up until.
You were an actor on the stage.
Yeah, I did some plays in Philadelphia.
Which plays?
So Three Penny Opera, Lamppost Reunion. I was in college. I was in Fiddler on the Roof. I was a 19-year-old rabbi in Fiddler on the Roof. But the worst thing I ever did was a Spanish ambassador in Anne of the Thousand Days. I was so fucking bad.
How
I
bad?
had like leotards on, had like lavender leotards, a tunic, and a hat with a big feather, and those shoes that point up like in medieval times.
Yeah.
And I was a Spanish ambassador, and I had to say to Catherine of Aragon, she asked me something, and I go, "I fear it is true, madam. I have many sources of information. I will do all in my power to aid you." Right? That's as bad as I was then. And one
That's
of
as good as you delivered the line right
the
now?
director said to me, "Why don't you do it with a Spanish accent?" And I go, "All right. I fear it is true, madam. I have many sources of information. I will do all in my power to aid you." And she goes, "That's terrible. Go back to the other thing. And so I wasn't a comedian for a while.
Okay, so, I mean, I can't, anybody that knows you and knows your work, and I obviously met you when you were a comedian and a well-known comedian. I mean, when did that happen? I mean, what did you stumble upon that said, oh, shit, I'm funny?
Well, what happened was I auditioned for Saturday Night Live, and I got 3 episodes, right? It was Gene Demanian, Woody Allen's friend, was the producer. And this was like 1979. And Dick Ebersol, that motherfucker, he came in and fired everybody but Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo, because Joe was like a sycophant to Eddie. But he never even saw any of us. And I remember sitting in a room, and he goes, call me an asshole. But he went, what is it? I go, you're an asshole to him. And he looked at me like, this kid's got balls. But anyway, so they fired all of us. But the thing that made me realize was how popular stand-ups were, how they became instant celebrities like Gilbert Gottfried and guys like that, and how hard and I didn't know anything about agents or anything. So the rejection, I got 3 episodes. I was an extra in 3 episodes.
So you didn't do stand-up before you did 3 episodes of Saturday Night Live?
No.
You didn't do an ounce of stand-up, not a word on stage where you were funny on stage. So when you auditioned for Saturday Night Live, what'd you audition with?
I wrote some skits. I wrote one thing called The Mean Grocer. Remember the Green Grocer?
Yeah.
I did a thing called The Mean Grocer, and like not to be like Gallagher, but I was like fucking throwing cantaloupes, and it was a stupid skit. But Bill Murray was on the show, and what a fucking asshole he is.
Really?
I was such a disappointment.
Whoa. Bill Murray, a beloved comedy acting icon, Oscar nominated. The praise goes on and on. You're saying he's an asshole?
He was like such. First of all, you can't have pockmarks and have an attitude. You can have pockmarks or have an attitude. You can't have both. But his sister and I went to college together, and she was a nun, and she was a great girl, Nancy Murray, right? And she said,
Sister Nancy?
Yeah. Well, we didn't call her Sister Nancy. We call her Bro, my man. But she was telling me, she goes, you're gonna love my brothers. I want you to meet my brothers. They're up in Toronto or wherever the fuck they were. Brian Doyle and Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I meet Bill, and I say, hey, Bill, I'm a friend of your sister's. He, like, totally fucking snubbed me. Fucking ass. Then, I just want to cut to, like, a couple years.
Back then he snubbed you.
Yeah. But not only that, this is what a dick he was. We go to Kilkenny, right? Now, Kilkenny, Ireland, the nicest fucking people. Not only nice, but bright and fun and funny. And they hated him. He was the only one I've ever seen. And he was like a big star going over because he was an Irish kid from an Irish family who made good, and he was coming back to Kilkenny. And, I go to this place, one of the theaters, and I go, something about Bill Murray. Fuck Bill Murray. He's a fucking asshole. That's...
So this hate is long and deep.
Well, you know what? The reason I hate him is because I'm so disappointed because I think he's so
you
brilliant.
Don't hate him so much as you're disappointed in him?
Yeah, I hate him too.
Has he ever done anything to you personally to...
he tickled my fancy.
To slow down your career, impede your career?
No.
Didn't cock block you? No, nothing.
All right, you're right. I'm sorry. I like him. Bill.
I'm just. It's interesting why people have that kind of emotion for something.
Well, you know what
it
was? When the people of Kilkenny didn't like him, I knew I was right. Because I didn't want to be in any way like disappointed because he wasn't nicer to me because I was a friend of his sister.
Right.
And his brother, Brian Doyle, was a fucking blast. And his mom, I knew his mom, I knew John, I knew the whole family. But, it was just a disappointment. I guess because it's somebody that you really look up to.
Okay, so we're talking, and who knows may hear this. Does he know you have this disdain for him?
No, he probably doesn't remember me.
Do you think he would care?
We're not on, right?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, do you think he would care, though?
Tell me when the show's going to start.
If by some reason Bill Murray were to hear this, you think he would say, Dom Irrera, I had no idea. I need to make this right.
Well, he wouldn't do that because the ego that he has, he's supposed to be a prick on the set. I don't give a fuck what he thinks.
Do you think anybody thinks that about you?
Most people.
No.
No, I don't know. I
No,
hope
seriously.
not.
Do you think anybody thinks that you're a prick, you're an asshole, you're a dick? Dom Irrera. Oh, if I ever get a chance to see that motherfucker again.
Well, you know, you can't win in life in the sense that my friend O'Hanlon's a basketball coach. He was a great basketball player. He played. He was like third string All American and second or third string, and he played in the old ABA. Really. And one guy said to me, you know, he didn't know I was good friends with him. He goes, you know, fuck him. He's such a nice guy. What a phony. So
About you?
No, about O'Hanlon.
About
But what
O'Hanlon.
I'm saying is, if people want to look at something, find something negative, they'll, you know, you're too nice. Who the fuck's he kidding? He's that nice. Nobody's that fucking nice. You know what I mean?
How many years you been doing stand-up now?
What's today?
It's February 15th, 2017.
17, so I don't know, 60 years? 75? I mean, you know, it's funny. Calvin Coolidge once said to me, true story, stop me if you heard this. You know how he used to have that funny walk?
Yeah. What do you think's changed about you since you started stand-up and where you are today?
I'm a fat pig and I hate myself. Are you happy? Are you happy, Dino? You got that out of me?
So you were not...
Look at me. Look
you
at
were-
my fucking big Japanese head.
So I didn't know you when you started stand-up, though I do remember you in the Young Comedian special on HBO. That's my first exposure to Dom Irrera. Was that your first big break?
By far, yeah.
Yeah? Dangerfield? Did you know Dangerfield? Did he find you? Did you... How did that happen?
I don't know. I was at the Comedy Store, and I knew that he wanted to come in and see me. Somebody had told him about me.
Why? What did they hear about you? What were they hearing?
That I killed.
No, seriously.
Well, all right. But just here's what happened. The audition, Barry Sobel and Damon Wayans were before me, and they were supposed to do 10 minutes each. They did 25 minutes each. So I'm
Right.
fucking fuming, right? So I go up and I just lay into them the whole time. That's all I did, my whole 10 minutes. And I remember, because Damon's one of the best people ever to me. He got me on a series. He's been great. We're buddies. And Barry I love, you know, but I'm telling you, if I ever owed anybody anything, it's Damon. But I was pissed off that night. And I said, what did Damon think? After like 19 minutes, he was all of a sudden going to get funny? It wasn't happening that night. Let it go. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
So Rodney comes up and he goes, you know, kid, you're funny, but all you do is lay into people. You got an act or what? And I go, yeah, I got an act. He goes, well, I got to see it. I can't fucking book you on that shit. And then he saw me do improv. I mean, he saw me at the improv. And it was magic. No, but I mean, I tell you, I'm not a bragger because it's a gift. It's not me. It's God coming through me. But that's how I got it the second time.
And that was, do you think that, I mean, that was back in the, it's interesting what comedy is back then and what comedy is today as far as a break.
Well, it's fucking weird today because you can not get on TV, not do anything, but you can have the greatest podcast in the world. I'm not saying you.
No. Hey,
No.
Clearly.
No. But I'm saying, but I'm
You
not.
don't know. This might push me into that higher ground.
No,
of
but I mean,
podcasts.
there's more opportunities in that sense. Like if you didn't make it to like a couple shows, the Tonight Show or Dangerfield's things, it was really tough. My life changed instantly after Dangerfield. I went to Atlanta, and it was fucking packed. I go, wow, what's going on? They go, you. I go, what do you mean? They go, and there were guys there with like little Petey, big Petey, Joey Bag of Donuts shirts on.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing. It was like overnight. And like today, I mean, it's just really hard for it to happen. But some of my friends, luckily enough, they're my friends, like Rogan and Mark Maron and those guys. I do their podcast. It's unbelievable. I did Rogan's podcast. I go to Australia, and there's all these teenage boys, cute as a button, by the way, but they were waiting to see me. You know, it's like, when would I draw 18-year-old teenagers from Australia if it wasn't for Joe? You know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's a different era. That when you ask me about that,
Yeah. What do you need to get a break these days? I mean, back then it was an HBO. You're on the Young Comedian special. You get on Johnny Carson.
I think there's a lot of
now
different.
what do you got to do?
You
And
know,
are you doing it to sustain yourself?
No, I mean, I never cared that much. I'm very lazy.
You're not really though.
Yeah, well,
How many weeks a year do you work now?
I don't know how many weeks are in a year.
Let's go back to your fourth grade education as far as a teacher. Last time I checked, it was 52.
I work probably half the time.
Half the time.
But then I
Because
work.
because that's all you have to work. You're successful. You don't need to work 45 weeks a year.
Yeah, I don't need this shit. Yeah, you know what? I don't need this fucking podcast right now in my life. I'd like to go to bed. I'm out of here. Good
I will
night.
get
Thank you.
I will get you there eventually, but I got to seize the opportunity and ask the questions that I don't normally ask that people might want to know, because you've had a long, successful.
All right, you have to say it like that. You've had a long, tedious. I can't believe you're still fucking alive. Is that really you?
I mean, when I think about somebody that I watched on a young comedian special on HBO and that wound up being one of my friends, I mean, that's surreal to me.
This is from a guy with gray hair.
Yeah.
When he was a kid at one time.
I was at one time, and I would have never thought in a million years while I'm watching you on HBO that at one point I'd be sitting here talking to you. That's crazy to me. I mean, it's great, but it's crazy.
Well, it's funny. You know what I like about me, and not because it's me. No, I'm kidding.
No, seriously. What do you like about you?
I don't like me. I'm a
I know
comedian.
you don't. I know you don't, and that bothers me.
Easy.
No, it
Easy
bothers
with the
me.
finger.
What is that?
You see
What
the finger coming
No,
up?
because I got the same. I have the same issues. We have friends here that are sitting around just listening to us tonight, but I have some of the same issues. What is it about comedians that is so self-loathing? Why is that? Why is that there? We bring so much joy to people on a nightly basis in comedy clubs all across the country, and yet the majority of us are just self-loathing individuals who don't like who we are or where we're going.
First of all, I don't think you should drink that
Explain to
whiskey
me.
anymore.
No.
Hey, excuse me, sir. We're in the middle of a podcast. How big are your balls?
Do you disagree with me?
He walked up like he's in fucking first class, and the flight attendant died.
That's all right. That's all right.
See the way he fucking walked right in front of us?
Don't diffuse it. I want to know. I want to know your thoughts, because there's some self-loathing there. Why is it in comedians in general? You don't have to go say it for yourself.
I just
I'd love
think-
to know why, but why in general? Why do you think it is?
I don't know. I mean, I just think, like the other night, I was working with this kid in Philly, and he gets like nervous and excited to work with me. I go, listen, Steve, let it go. I said, believe me, if you knew me, you wouldn't be that impressed.
Okay.
You know, I'm just a fucking regular guy who happens to be good at this one thing. You know, it's not like, to me, I don't think, if anything, I think I'm lucky. We were talking to contractors tonight, how they fucking build buildings.
Right.
They're real men. That's what men do. We don't, look at us. We're talking. We have jokes.
But not everybody can do that.
Yeah, but still.
Not everybody can do that successfully and make a career
Feel how
out of
soft
it.
my hands are.
Let me see. Bring them over here. They are soft.
Of course they're
You haven't worked
soft.
a day in your life.
I haven't worked a day in my life. I quit. I was a landscaper for about 3
No,
hours.
you were.
I
When?
swear to God. Well, you know, one time a friend of mine, I was totally out of money, and he hired me to paint. He was going to give me $100. This is a long time ago, right? That's a lot of fucking money. And I remember starting painting, going like this, what's a big fucking deal? I'm painting. It's like 3-4 strokes. Then after about the 20th one, I go, fuck. This is exhausting. I'll give you $110 to let me out of here. So we're lucky that we don't have to work. I mean, you on the radio, I mean, you're a natural. I mean, I'm not to make it the Sammy Maudlin show, but I don't know how the fuck you do it. What planet are you from that you could do
I don't
this?
understand what you're talking about, because for me, it just seems like that's just how I live my life. It's
Well,
every
that's
day.
how we all do
And everybody
that.
says to me, "Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand it." But I don't know. I just do what I do. I have a responsibility to be at my job and on the air at 5 a.m. in the morning. If I decide to go out late at night and stay out late at night and drink with my
If you
friends that are gathered
decide,
here,
like that would be like a rare occasion for you. What about the fact that it's every fucking night?
it's not every night.
Here, imagine, here's what would be the difference. If you decide to stay in one night. If you decide to do some fucking exercise and do something healthy, that would be hey, everybody, did you hear about Dino? Everybody's on the phone. What's the matter? He's home. Is he sick? No, he's just relaxing. And he's eating vegetables.
He decided to stay home. No, I like to gamble, I like to drink, but I also I know what my responsibilities are, and I don't shirk them. So if I have to be
Well,
up,
that's amazing. I mean, that's
I have to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. If I'm out till 2, then screw it. I got to get up in 2 hours and go to work.
I respect that.
That's the deal.
I hate the term alcoholic. The thing I respect about you is a functional alcoholic.
Oh, well.
No, but I mean, you fucking get everything done that a person who wasn't as sick as you are, a person like that should be hospitalized. And then, do you know what the word intervention means?
No, I never
You
heard
really
of
have
it.
nobody that loves you. Otherwise, you would have 1 to 2, 3 interventions a day.
I'll never have an intervention because all my friends are in the same position that I'm in. Yeah, it's just, the misery is the company I keep.
And by the way, speaking of your friends, what a great fucking group of guys.
They are. They're
I
awesome.
love those guys. I'm telling you, I swear to God, this is my favorite night. I love doing stand-up, but when I come to hang with those guys, they're all such fucking characters.
Well, you're talking about guys that each one of these guys that are just kind of hanging out behind us tonight.
Yeah.
All need to be someplace tomorrow morning, but they wanted to come in here and just kind of soak it up and experience this with
Well,
you.
anything that they can get in for free. not because they're your friends.
No, not because they're my friends. Oh man,
You're going to finish that bottle?
this bottle
Can a
tonight.
brother get a shot
Would you
around
like
here?
it's not all. It's. Are you enjoying? Are you enjoying?
You're Bogarting the whole
I'm
fucking
not
thing.
Bogarting. Are you
I
enjoying?
saw that.
Are you enjoying the Eagle Rare? That's my question.
Eagle Rare is actually, I like it a lot.
I know my producer is. This is the fucking third helping he's asked for tonight. So
He's been bogarting.
and a little bit for. Oh, you guys got.
thank
Where'd you
you,
guys
sir.
get ice?
We got some. The refrigerator.
Ah.
Did you get cherries? Fucking.
Oh my God! You know
Fucking
what?
pussies.
There I was being the generous host. I forgot to pour myself a little something.
Whoa. That doesn't happen much.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Comedy, that's a no-brainer. But let's go back to the fact that you were an actor first, and the fact that you have acted in films, some iconic films. Big Lebowski, for starters. One of the more memorable characters on Seinfeld that passed through the years. Do you like to act? Do you like to act more than
I'd rather play basketball than tennis. If I have a choice, I'd rather work with people. As much as I love stand-up, I'd rather. You remember Hollywood Shuffle?
Yeah, of course.
The character, if you remember the character I played in that, he was a guy who I went to college with, and he was. I never thought about straight and gay that much, but he was very feminine. And when they went to Broadway, and then he was a hairdresser on Broadway, and then he went like just fucking flat out flaming, but he was hilarious. And I wondered, like I was Robert Townsend was the director. We're watching a Georgetown Villanova game, and he's a black guy, so he was for Georgetown because they were all black, and I'm a white guy, and Villanova had one white guy. Anyway, so I rooted for them. But he said to me, I'm serious.
Wait.
He showed me this thing that they were doing, this Hollywood Shuffle thing. He goes, "You want to do it?" I said, I don't want to play an Italian guy because I do it so much in the plays I'm doing and all these like Lamppost Reunion, this whole. Anyway, so I played the guy that was my friend from college. I was married at the time.
But you were married?
I was married at the time, and we were going to Villanova because Villanova was like they had the Augustinian priest, and that's where my school in Biscayne College in Miami had. Anyway, so they were affiliated with each other, so we had a reunion. And I get in the car, and his name was Vinny. We used to call him Vinny to Vinny. I go, Vin, you want a beer? This is when we still drank beer in cars, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
yeah.
we would go like, is that a 3-beer ride or like a 6-beer ride?
Right. You had to plan it.
Yeah. So I said, Vin, you want a beer? He goes, no, thanks, but you have one. He had that laugh. He goes, and I just loved that fucking laugh. So that's what I wanted to do in that movie, Hollywood Shuffle. And just recreate the character.
And you did a great job of it.
Thanks. It was so much fun.
So you like acting more than you like doing stand-up, and you're brilliant at stand-up. Do you consider yourself to be a good actor?
I don't know. I mean,
You get cast.
you know what? Like,
you get cast.
I'm
and
not.
thing?
All right, I'll tell you something funny about that.
Is there an opportunity? All right, tell me something funny first, then I have another question.
Rodney Dangerfield became a really good friend of mine, and he wrote a movie, and he put the character Irrera in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was a very good part. And then they had met another actor, and he got the part of Irrera because he was a better actor than me.
Refresh my memory. What movie was that?
It was called The Fourth Tenor. But I thought it was so, and he gave me another part, but I thought it was so fucking funny that I didn't even get the part of me.
Named after you.
Hey, Ronnie, that Irrera is good. You know.
I don't mean to take a question from the audience, but Jamie kept raising his hand. You got a question? You got a burning question? The Big Lebowski.
So good in that movie. That movie is so iconic.
A movie that everybody wants to see now.
You know
The Big
what's funny
Lebowski.
about that? First of all, they were my lines, right? So I get the script, and my agent, and I hate fucking auditioning. I hate dancing for people. I'd rather fucking go my little fucking way and work slappy bananas and be happy and be my own boss. But they send me the script, and you know what the sides are?
Yeah. Sides are the audition sheets that
It's
you
like,
get.
yeah, it's the
They
pages.
break it down,
instead
they
of-
give you a scene, and then you have to do that.
Right. So they gave me the sides. They gave me the script. There's no fucking way I'm reading that script. It's, it would take me a year. And I read it, and I go, her name's Sarah. I go, Sarah, it's brilliant. I tell you, it's hilarious. I never laughed so hard. She goes, wow, I never heard you react like that. I says, well, maybe it's because I wrote it. She goes, what do you mean? I said, they fucking took lines from my act. Right? So she goes, well, I'll call and set up the audition. I said, I'm not fucking auditioning for my lines. And she called their casting director, and then he called the Coen brothers. They go, no, we wrote it for him. I mean, it's his writing, and if I didn't do it, they would have changed the lines. But in that weird, like, so I went in already knowing what I was going to say. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you ever, somebody told me this last week. Jeff Bridges, my name is Tony, but there's one part where he calls me Dom. Right?
He does? In the movie?
That's just in the movie. That's what
I gotta watch it again. I gotta watch it again now.
Now maybe I'm wrong, but somebody told me that last week. And he was fucking, first of all, what a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
We would go to lunch and he would stay in character. He would stay in character the whole time. Yeah.
The whole time.
And I thought John Goodman, was the Big Lebowski because John's such a big guy. And here's a good backup story to John Goodman. In those days, this is when Bruce Willis was just starting to get hot, to be a name dropper. And Bruce, we knew each other from New York, and he was just getting Moonlighting going, right? And he was starting to get like popular, and people were starting to recognize him, and we had to kind of sit around him at the table to get him, people crazy, at the improv. Remember the round table at the improv?
Yeah. Well, a little bit.
Well,
I didn't always get to sit around.
Well, so
table.
all of a sudden, John Goodman shows up, and I don't know John, and we never talked about acting. We never talked about show business. We talked about girls and sports,
Right.
same as any other fucking guys. And then, so I don't think anything of it. And I was married at the time, and my wife and I go to see a movie in the afternoon in Vegas, and it's Raising Arizona, and John Goodman's in it. And I said to her, Lisa, do you believe fucking Bruce got his bouncer? I thought he was his bouncer. He was his bodyguard. I said, do you believe fucking Bruce how big is Bruce getting that he could get his bouncer apart in Raising Arizona?
Oh, wow.
Little did I know it was John Goodman, who fucking better acted than almost everybody.
Than a lot of people, yeah. And that's what you thought
Yeah.
at that particular time.
When I saw that movie with the cast and crew, I didn't laugh at all.
Oh.
Because, they applaud for different things. They applaud for, like, the plumber in the movie and whoever, And when I saw it, regular people, then I thought it was fucking great.
Oh, it's a unbelievable movie.
Steve Buscemi, how fucking good is he?
You've worked with some great people. You've also done animated work as well.
My favorite gig. My favorite gig. Not just a dog. Many a dog. I played a dog in Barnyard, which is a movie and then a series. I played at Pound Puppies. I was Betty White's dog. He looked gay, but he was straight, the dog.
Is that what you have to tell yourself?
No, because the dog was real cute. He wore makeup and lipstick, and
Mm-hmm.
But the voiceovers are the easiest fucking gig. The hardest thing to get, but the easiest thing to do. I mean, you can literally wear a wetsuit into. And the thing about it, the thing that's so incredible about any of those gigs is, if you miss it, if you miss time because you have to do something else, they bring you back and you actually make more money per minute. You know what I mean? Like say I'm out of town for 2 episodes. I come back, they do all 3 episodes in 45 minutes, where if I had done one, it would have been 4 hours.
Right.
With everybody else there. You know.
So
the point is to lie.
You touched upon something that I honestly wasn't aware of. I know you've had relationships in your life, but I did not know you were actually married. How long were you married?
15, 20 minutes.
No, seriously, how long were you married?
We were married for 5 years, but we were together for 5.
Was this before you were stand-up or after?
No, she actually helped me write a lot of stuff.
Really? Somebody helped you write what we hear? Somebody helped you write?
She was the only one that ever helped me, she was the only one I ever listened to put stuff in my act.
So how did that go awry?
Because it wasn't working with 2 actors together. We're so much better friends.
She was an actor as well?
I mean, we're unbelievable friends now. And her daughter is, like, I helped raise her daughter, and I love the kid, and she's got a baby now. And so
Did she have a daughter when you married her?
No.
No, she had. This is after fact.
But,
okay.
But the kid and I always bonded, and we just have, she comes out and spends a month with me. She lived with me for a couple of years. Now she's married with a kid, and she's a really good kisser, this kid, No, I couldn't be serious too long.
I'm gonna make you be serious for just a second longer, and ask if where you're at in life now. What do you think is missing? I mean, you've had a successful career, and it still continues to be a successful career. You have friends. You got people sitting here at what time is it? 10:38 in the evening that just want to be here to experience this. What's missing out of your life at this point?
Thanks a lot, Dino.
I mean, you can laugh it off if you want to.
I'm not laughing it off. I mean, the pain that I'm in right now. I'm thinking, I'm sorry I fucking came to Columbus. I'm not even just sorry I did the show or went to the social club.
I mean, but
I'm serious, dude.
You ask me what's missing in my life, I would be able to tell you.
Yeah, but it's more obvious what's missing in your life. Culture,
sophistication, politeness.
What's missing in my life? A big fat whore. I want a whore that's so big and fat that I would never really go out with her. All I want to do is pay her and fucking smack my jeans all over her back. Anyway, hey, there I go getting all romantic. Now, do we start the show yet?
Do you think you've missed out on love in your life? Do you think you blew it? I can tell you that.
Well, let me say this about you and Stacy.
Up to this point, we weren't going to edit anything. And now, no, seriously, keep it about you, not about me. No. Just let me.
Don't fucking tell me who it's about.
No. Do you think you've missed out on love in your life?
It's weird. I have some kind of love for you. You are so cute when you say that. You're adorable.
I'm asking you sincerely and seriously as a friend, because I think that is
just
one of the...
because you're asking doesn't mean I'm going to tell you.
I understand that, but I
not
thought
a fucking
maybe
trial.
If I saved that question...
Excuse me, is this Nuremberg?
If I saved that question towards the end...
I was merely following orders.
I thought maybe if I loosened you up a little bit, that you would actually...
Oh, no, you're not going to trap me into that. Dom Irrera pathetically says.
No, not pathetically sad, dude.
Lonely funny man.
Not lonely sad. I mean, it goes back to what I asked you before about the whole self-loathing. I think there's something about comedians actors, entertainers, that they strive to find that completion that maybe that's the part that they can't complete. And I'm asking more as a curiosity seeker than anything else. Why can't we close that deal? I don't know.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. What was that?
I'm thinking that you say yes.
Yes. What are you guys doing?
He's got a question.
I got a question for both of you.
Oh boy.
You ready?
Here we go. See, I opened up a can.
Well, tomorrow night we're going to go to the Funny Bone and we're going to watch both of you.
Yeah.
Hecklers. How do you handle hecklers?
We don't handle them. The bouncers beat the shit out of them. Oh, excuse me, sir. Can I talk to you for a second?
It's how do you handle
How about
Anthony Perry?
How about the lady had his neighbor had the retarded son?
Oh, no, we don't want to talk about her.
All right. No, the hecklers. I mean, Dom is more than experienced with hecklers, as
We don't get
am as
that
well.
many hecklers.
Don't get that many, but when we get them, though, we're able to put them in their place. You've just got to be faster and smarter than they are, and then hopefully they'll go away. I mean, that's been my experience. If you can hop on them fast and smash them out quickly, then they go away. If you engage them for too long, then it becomes an uncomfortable situation.
Well, I made a mistake the other night. I was working with Brad Garrett. You know Brad?
Yeah.
I was working with him in Vegas, and he was the MC, and he was talking, and the guy was talking the whole time. When I got out, the guy didn't talk, and I only had to do 25 minutes. At about the 22nd minute, I said something to the guy, and he just went fucking, blah, 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 blah. And the bouncer came up to him, like to tell him to keep quiet, and I said to the bouncer, hey, man, let him go. It's my fault. I made that stupid choice, but it's better just to, like, let it go or, I mean, how are they going to fucking win? You got years of experience, you got lights on you, a microphone on you, and fucking bouncers that are, can't wait to fucking throw somebody out. So I mean, if you lose that battle, it's you.
Yeah, but I've seen comics lose that battle. Mostly the inexperienced ones who aren't prepared because they're so focused on what they're doing, and if anything happens that derails that routine that they're working on, and that's just experience.
Well, that's
over
the
the
bad
years.
thing about doing stand-up as if it's a play, and like that it has to be in certain order.
Right.
It's like you got to understand. Hopefully, some of this stuff is just extemporaneous stuff that's funny and extemporaneous.
It's a lot of
Why?
triple word score.
Why did I say that?
A lot of points. A lot of points on
Your head hurts
Scrabble.
now.
Yeah. You know what?
Talk
Yeah,
about the raw.
don't-
Talk
we
about. Talk about
say
not
anything
knowing your
else.
crowd.
That should be
I
your-
looked around.
That
I
should
saw
be your
those.
closer right there.
I saw those
We
fucking
should
guys.
finish this up. You're never going to get a longer word than that on this podcast.
Dino, am I working with you tomorrow? No.
Yeah, we're working
Oh,
tomorrow.
night.
Unfortunately, I don't get to work with you the whole weekend, but I get to host the show tomorrow night. And unfortunately, by the time this podcast airs, that'll be ancient history.
Well, then let's talk about how we killed. I gotta say, Dino, that was the best set I've ever seen you have.
I gotta tell you what, Dom.
Stop
just
it.
when I think you can't get any funnier, you just take it up another notch.
You have a gift, my friend. Apparently, Jesus really loves you.
Get up to the microphone if you're gonna say it.
I love he's raising his hand like he's in school.
Dino's never been scared to be in front of a crowd unless you're there.
Get
He
out.
is petrified tomorrow night because he hasn't been in front of a crowd for what, 3 months?
No,
3 months.
no, I've been on stage like in the last 8 or 9 weeks. That's like
Like
2
3
months. 2 months.
He's petrified.
Well,
That
first
he's
of all, you have
gonna
nothing to
fuck
worry
up.
about. It's not like I watch you.
He's
I know you don't watch me. I know you don't watch me. I gave up on that forever ago.
No.
When I was
absolutely-
young,
he's scared out of his fucking.
when I
Jeez,
was
he
young,
has
I
no
would
idea what he's
ask
gonna
you,
do
if you
tomorrow.
hey Don, what do you think of myself? But now, no, I know you don't watch. I don't care.
I can't watch right before
That's
me.
okay. I know you come out. And all the times we work
I
together.
will sneak in and watch a couple minutes.
And all the recent years we worked together, you come up to me and say, how are they? You ask me about the crowd, and I tell you whether or not they're pretty good, and if they're tight, whatever the case might be. And that's all you got. I don't expect you to watch me. That's not
It's
it.
not you. It's just anybody, because I'm trying to
I
focus.
don't take any offense to that at all whatsoever. But Jamie's right on some level. When I'm working with you, and here in Columbus, when I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, where there's like 100 guys from our club that are coming to see you tomorrow
Isn't that
night.
incredible?
Yeah, that's great. I feel a little extra pressure to not so much to impress you, but I don't know why. Once again, it goes. I feel like I got to impress them on some level, a little bit.
You think it's because you're really not Italian? And you're like, Greek.
I'm afraid that I'll be exposed through the stand-up. No, that's not it. That's not it at all.
Do you have any Italian in you?
Yeah, I do. On my mother's side of the family. Do you want the backstory? What do you want?
I want the backstory.
You want the backstory? My mother's side of the family, her mother, they lived in a little village in Italy called Sortaldo. I think that's in I don't know. I've been since I was 9 years old. That's in the what part of Italy?
You don't know, so.
You don't know?
The women are known there for their huge tits.
Then my grandmother would definitely
Oh
count.
boy.
That would be the opposite of what he likes now.
Good friend, huh?
Yeah, good buddies right there. You'll be cutting that one out there, Greg. Yeah, you'll be editing that one out of the list. Yeah, if we're not going to talk about your love life, we're not going to talk about my love life.
Hey, that was him, your buddy.
Me, that's your buddy.
Would that be a heckler?
Would that be a heckler?
All right, let's. Yeah, it's getting late. Let's wrap it up. So, before it's all said and done, Dom Irrera, do you feel you've left your mark on this world? When we talk about legends and mentors and
I don't know if I can answer that with words, but I think that this interpretive dance I'm about to do, even though it's radio, will tell it all.
Listen to me. Don't be an ass. Do you think that you left something behind? Do you think you've left something behind?
My wallet. Does anybody see my wallet?
That's two. I'm giving you a third shot at it, you bitch, you. I'm telling you. How many years you've been doing this? You lost count. You can't do the math. Do you feel that when it's all said and done, when you say, that's it, I'm done, and you look back on it all, on the body of work.
Well, if I'm done, I'm not even going to be able to say it.
Okay, but in your mind, you're thinking, can you nod and say, you know what? Yeah, I left something good behind.
Oh, God. I hate myself more than ever before this. I thought I hated myself before this show.
Maybe it takes somebody from the outside
Dino,
looking in.
please.
No, it takes somebody from the outside looking in. Yeah, I think you can say that.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep again tonight.
No, you're not. There's a body of work that's there.
Is it too late to get a whore in Columbus?
No, it's never.
Maybe
never
some
too late.
freshman at Ohio State needs money. As long as she's over 18.
Of course.
You know what? It's the respect of the other comedians is really a cool thing for me. And
Yeah.
not to be sappy, but like Chris Rock was on Stern, and I don't know, and I was busting Chris's balls about it, but he was saying that, all he wanted was to be like Dom Irrera, who was a headliner who everybody respected, and that was one of the nicest things, And don't fucking ever make me do this again. I'm very uncomfortable saying that.
Well, I wanted to get into a couple things that may have been uncomfortable because we all got this thick comedy skin that is really hard to penetrate, and people don't get to hear or see a lot of it. Some of these idiots in the room have seen past my thick skin and know me a little bit better than what is presented out there on the air or on stage. And you know what? I don't think that's a bad thing. You're human. You're a real person. What's wrong with that?
Well, I'm like everybody else except more talented. Than the common people.
And I can't think of a better way to wrap it up than that.
Thanks, Dino. It was great being on the show.
I appreciate you being with me. I got to say a couple of things. That Whiskey Business is
great.
a Never the Luck production done in cooperation with the Columbus Radio Group. All the opinions are those of myself, And of course, my reluctant guests, and are never meant
Bullshit. There are opinions, and we stick by them.
to offend, only to entertain. And so, until
I hate minorities. I love the majorities.
until the next bottle. Good night and God bless.